so my name is Nikki. I have a podcast called The Dear Mama Project, where I explore motherhood as a personal and spiritual development experience. I have a little 4-year-old, and I guess for me, I came across Bethany's work. I always knew that I had some sort of underlying issues around the relationship with my mother. And even though I knew those were there, I guess I was a lot of the time dealing with like the symptoms. So I was dealing with having a lack of confidence, having a lack of worthiness. And I was trying to, I guess, kind of work on those symptoms, and spent a lot of time doing courses, personal development, therapy, working on trying to address those symptoms that I was experiencing. And then I came across an interview with Bethany and really just connected so strongly to what she was saying, and had these massive sort of light bulb moments thinking, that's how I feel, like that's how I have been experiencing these symptoms. So I reached out to Bethany to have her on the podcast, where I got to interview her, which was amazing. And I had this sort of like catalyst moment when I decided to jump in and do Bethany's course. I'd obviously been soaking up everything that she offers online, that you offer online. And I then though had this moment where I really realized that I needed to jump right into this. It wasn't something that I wanted to do. I didn't want to kind of like half do it. I really wanted to just like jump right in, because I had this experience where I got a communication from my mum, and the words that she was using, I had this moment of going, those are the exact like negative beliefs that I've been trying to kind of undo for so long. So I thought, this is where I really need to like focus my attention in terms of the personal development that I wanted to do. So I started doing the course, and I've been really impressed with everything so far. And like I said, when I interviewed you, I feel like this is some of the most transformative personal development I've ever done. And I've done a fair bit, I've done therapy, but for me, this is like getting to the root wound and the root cause, rather than trying to like address the symptoms, which I think I've done for so long. And through going to that, like that first relationship, that core wound, I'm finding that the symptoms that I was experiencing, like lack of confidence, like at work, or not standing up for myself in other relationships, are starting to disappear just by working on this first relationship and this first sort of wound. So for me, it's been, I've only just started, I'm only partway through the course, but it's been really powerful. Just even the 2 modules that I've done so far, I can see differences, and I've actually had people comment to me on differences, like, hey, you like being a little bit different when you're talking, or when you're like expressing your opinion, or you just seem like a little bit more confident. So yeah, I feel like in terms of the course, it's deep work. Like, this is deep stuff, but it's done in a way that you feel safe and you feel held through it, and it's compassionate. Like, it's not, I feel like this is, it could be really overwhelming, but I feel like the way that it's done is very kind of gentle and compassionate with the person who's doing it. And I don't ever feel like overwhelmed by it. For me, I'm going in quite slowly as well. Like, I'm going step by step. I'm not trying to rush through it. I'm letting it kind of digest. And I'm finding, for me, by doing it that way, I'm, you know, the first time I think of a question or I go through an activity, I might only get like a little glimpse, because I think there's sometimes we block out things, but then over a few weeks, I start seeing new layers of it coming through, and I have all of these sort of aha moments, because it's sort of like planting a seed and then letting it germinate, or whatever it does. It's like letting it grow, because sometimes I think it's the depth that we're going to that makes that really big impact.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Winfield, and I did Bethany's course back in 2018. I think I started in the May, actually just after Mother's Day. So, and I had been drawn to Bethany's work through various sort of online little communities that I had started sharing a lot of your written work, Bethany. And so I knew a little bit about you, and the work really resonated with me. And so when this opportunity arose, I went, oh my God, you know, here we go, I'm going to dive in. And so the reason really I was drawn to it is that in 2015, my mother had actually died. So it was quite unusual for me to do, I guess a lot of women are doing the course because their mothers are still alive and they're still having to navigate those challenging relationships. For me, I had lost my mother and I had to grieve the mother I had, but also I realized I was having to grieve the mother that I wished I'd had. And so there was this awful juxtaposition of being really, really, really angry and really, really, really sad. And I realized that I needed some help really understanding how I could honor the gift she gave me, which was life. But equally so much of what you said around, you know, yes, they did the best, she did the best she could, but you still suffered. And so the reason I really was drawn to the course was that I was really struggling with the grieving process. And I was also at the time had become quite unwell. I was coming out of it. And I knew that what this course offered would potentially help me heal physically at a deeper level, and it did. So I jumped in really and just got on with it straight away. It was really interesting because I started and I did the first 3 modules quite quickly. And then I stopped because I was actually flew back to the UK where I'm originally from to scatter my parents' ashes. Both of them had died 10 months apart. I had been too unwell to travel, so I had not actually gone back to the UK. So I stopped the course for that sort of month that I was away, and then when I came back, after I had sort of done that sort of ceremonial, ritualistic aspect of saying goodbye to my mother, I was able to step back in and continue unpacking and doing all the work. And oh my God, every module just brought another layer. And, you know, sometimes I would be reading the questions and it was hard. It's hard because you have to think back and you have to go back. But I think I was really gentle with myself. I found the online community really supportive. I think if you share from the heart, people will come, you know, it's a really loving community. And I felt very supported by people and by yourself, Bethany. So I sort of traversed through it all and did the rest quite quickly. I think I was completed by the September. So all in all, it probably took me, you know, 3 or 4 months. It certainly didn't take me 8 weeks. It took me a bit longer. But I mean, my health changed dramatically. I did, although I obviously didn't have boundaries to set with my mother physically, there were definitely boundaries that I set in my internal voices, with the internal voices. And the other thing that happened was I also consciously stepped away from a relationship with my sister, who very much was my mother's daughter. And it became very apparent that she was going to continue with the abusive cycle, and that I needed to protect little Jen. And you know, I don't know how long that will be for, whether it's forever, whether it's something that we might be able to jump into again. I don't know, but for now, it's not, my drawbridge is up. I can't have all that judgment and fear and all the rest of it brought in to my energy field while I am doing so well in so many aspects of my life.
Hello, everyone. My name is Magdalena, and I started taking the course in 2014. And for me, this course is truly remarkable. And I see it in the way that my life before the course and after the course, this is how really transformative the course was for me. And is still, because I am still using the things I've learned during this course to stay on my path, to stay on my soul path. So, oh my gosh, it's really hard to say what this course gave to me, because it's just so much. Because I was a person that had a lot of self-hatred, and I really saw myself as somebody really bad, like I was the evil person. And it played out really badly in my life because I didn't really knew myself. So this would affect my relationship with my husband and with my children, because I wanted to be a great mom. Obviously, I was breastfeeding and carrying them in sling and sleeping with them and really being present. But there were days where I would just go nuts, and I would abuse them verbally, even physically, spanking. So it was really, really tough. And I was really deeply disconnected from myself. And I went into spirituality, which now I call ungrounded spirituality, where I just wanted to be love and light and understand everybody and forgive everything. But this led me to a situation in my life where I was afraid of myself. Because there were days where I thought that I would do something really nasty, and then, it would be really bad. So when I came across Bethany, I remember reading the first article about the mother wound. I was crying like crazy, because the first time somebody gave me the words to explain what was happening with me. And I remember reading this article and saying to myself, oh my God, this woman really gets me. Like, how does she know? So this was this turning point, like totally turning point, because it was the first time in my life where I felt, well, maybe I'm not the crazy person. Maybe there's something more, but I didn't see it before. So this was huge, really huge. And I remember reading all those articles, and at the end of the articles, it was Bethany wrote that she will have this online course. And I was like, oh my God, when? And I was waiting so much for this course. And when it came out, my husband didn't want me to take this course. He was so upset. And I remember that moment when I decided, no, I'm doing this. We were arguing actually about this course. We were arguing in the kitchen. He was so angry with me. And I just felt this peace inside. Total peace. I was calm. I just sat down at my desk. I took out my card and I paid for the course. And I could feel like something immediately shifted. And since then, it was an amazing journey through hell, I have to say. Because all the things that I was suppressing all my life started to come up to the surface. So I wasn't sure if this was the right thing, but probably 2 or 3 weeks into the course, I realized I was reacting differently to my son. He was triggering me big time. And it was the first time in my life where instead of giving out to him, I could understand. And this was a big shift. It was like, yeah, this is the thing I need to do. So yeah, I don't know what else I could say. Since then, it was the road to reclaiming really myself, love towards myself, because I was hating myself so much. But also like the inner dialogue I had with myself and with other people, because I didn't really knew who I was at all. So for the people outside, I could be this easygoing person and knowing what to do in life, but this was just a mask. Deep down, I was hurting. And I didn't know at that time that I was a highly sensitive person. So I would either act like a total crazy woman, or I would be a people pleaser. So I was just on those two ends constantly. No middle road, like no centering, no rootedness in myself, nothing. It was just always in reaction, to something outside, to something inside, always like bzzz. And when I started to take this course, module after module after module, going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, I was reclaiming this sense of inner peace, of this inner stability, this anchor inside. And this changed everything in my life. It's changed what I do in my life, how I behave, how I am in relationship with my husband now. Actually, this course led to total death of our relationship, and then the rebirth of this relationship, because right now we are back together, but on totally different level, and our relationship is very deep right now.